still the federal government accedes to their demands. Now joining us to look at this development is a comrade and activist and the president of Comrade Omololu Ejidiro. It's great to have you back here, sir. Good morning.
It's always a pleasure, Omako.
All right, looking at this development itself, now this impasse between ASU and federal government is actually lingering, and of course it's getting annoying for many people, many students who actually lost the whole academic year. And now most semesters should have started again now. And some final year students are waiting to be out of the school. Now they have to wait endlessly until ASU and federal government settle their impasse. Now, how do we address this issue of IPPIS on one angle? Because ASU is saying that cannot work for the academic system. You cannot monitor the school just the way you monitor the civil service. The school system is quite different, and they are saying they have their own unique system where their payment process is being done. Now, they also talked about even the monies accruing to development of the school system. It's not also there. That's what ASU is saying. Now, where do we attack these issues from?
It's quite unfortunate where we find ourselves. The position and the posture maintained by this current government is quite pathetic. This government lacks integrity. And their attitudes, as I've said before, their posture and the way they handle education in this country it's cause for concern for every stakeholders. I will never line up with the federal government who claim that they have paid. According to what you say right now, they have paid some, I don't know what they have. Let them bring out a proof if they are paid. We need a proof. It is not enough for you to just claim that you have paid. Bring out a proof of evidence to the public that you have paid them. It has become a custom, a way of life for the federal government to enter agreement with university done, and the breach will come from there incessantly. Mamako, incessantly. It is not once, it's not twice, it's not 3 times. They have become used to it. It's as if, to me, federal government enjoy to insult the public intelligence and they rubbish entire Nigeria. They talk with the future of our youth. They talk with the future of this country. In one of the news you read right now, you see the number of Nigerians who volunteer to leave the country. Why? Because even the country where you're living in, the government show no concern about education again. You remember during the NSAS, what make NSAS to fuel, more is what it was simply because ASU was on strike and the students were told that to that effect, it made the future of this youth to be in jeopardy. And it bleed, my heart bleed because recently when Minister of Education Adamu walked out to the student in a aristocratic manner, of which students were calling attention of Adamu that you send your own son to go and school outside the shore of the country. We saw you on social media. We don't blame you if our parents also had the resources to send us abroad to go and school. There's no problem, but you must give us our right. Education is a right. It is not a privilege. Now, you raise issue of IPPIS. I want to call ASU to some points. The employers and employee. When the employers of labor suggests a system of payment, the employee must take time to sit down with the employers to shift ground for one another. I agree with ASU that they cannot subscribe, they cannot bring them under the civil servant payment system, but they must also listen to their employer. The government must listen to them. I think that ASU suggested another better way of their payment. It's UP something, I've forgotten this time around, that they prefer that one to IPPIS.
UTAS, yeah.
UTAS, oh thank you, Mamako. Now UTAS. Now the government must have to listen to us also. When it comes to conflicts, you must have to shift grant from one another. Okay? And you must listen to your employer. The employee must listen to the employee or employer also. Rub mind together, shift grant from one another, and reach a conclusion, meaningful conclusion, in respect of their payment management.
But the question is, should the government always wait for ASUU to go on strike before taking any measure?
You agree with me, you are a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian too. This Nigerian government, not only Buhari government, Nigerian government, right from 1999, okay, they handle a matter, a sensitive matter, in a lackadaisical manner. And before ASUU go on strike, okay, they have met with federal government not once, not twice, not three times. They have taken time to consultation first. They have run mind together, and they have reached an agreement, signed an agreement with the federal government. What do you expect them to do when someone is taking you for granted? Look at it. It's absurd. It's absurd, Mamako. It's abysmal. If I sit down with you and you reach an agreement with me, we sign an agreement, and you promise, and I fulfill my own side of the agreement, but you fail to fulfill your own side of the agreement. Even in a Senate line, I have the right to sue the other one for not abiding, for not keeping to the agreement. I have the right to sue him for not keeping to it, because you understand the terms. The term of agreement is so clear to you. Okay, you are not blind when you are signing it, but maybe you believe that if I don't sign it, what can it do for me? What step can it take against me? I'm sitting in the high position of big I, that if I don't fulfill my own side, it cannot take me up. It cannot do anything against me. I believe that's the position. That's the position the federal government
is. What the ASUU president has come up with. Oshodeke has said that let them declare a state of emergency in the education sector.
Of course.
How would that go a long way to salvage most of the problems we have in this
Do you remember that the same similarity happened in Ghana some time ago? When they declare a state of emergency in Ghana for a complete whole year.
In education.
In education in Ghana. Go and check, Google it. For a whole year. It's not because those done are not concerned or are not carefree, are lackadaisical in respect of it. No! When you are confronting or you are fighting with a high-handed government who has developed a thick skin to sensitive matter in the country, okay, you use the appropriate therapy, appropriate medicine to address it. I agree with them. Do you now see that? Does it work in Ghana? Of course it works. After a whole year, Ghana educational sector revamp, resuscitate there.
Now let's look at this non-victimization clause that ASUU is asking for.
The
government non-victimization clause. ASUU is now asking the government to sign that because of some of its salaries that were withheld when they went on industrial action. Now that clause, non-victimization, what does that mean? Does it mean that the government has been victimizing the striking lecturers? In what manner do we begin to look at this?
Definitely, you agree with me. You are in Nigeria. What you are asking, thank God you are asking that question. If ASUU have not been experiencing victimization, they will not raise the clause. But I will not blame federal government completely. Member of ASUU Don also play a role in installing the corrupt political class because they serve as returning officer.
Are you blaming them?
Oh my God, listen to me. Listen to me. You are grieving most of the returning officer who served during the INEC. They are done. They are university lecturer. They are professor. Okay?
So what do you mean?
Now,
are they the ones who conducted the elections?
No. there are several allegations, although it has not been proven, I think it's an allegation of how some of the Don also compromised during the announcement of the result.
But they are not politicians.
No, they're not politicians, but they are involved. They are called to serve. They are called to serve, and they take a fighter decision when they are announcing the result. They're not politicians, of course. You can be called to serve, but you maintain integrity. You maintain, uprightness. When you are serving your country, you are not serving your country for the sake of your pocket.
So is that lacking?
You serve
is
your
that
country.
Lacking in the dons that have actually played this role?
Is that what?
Is that integrity lacking?
Of course. Not all of them. Please get me right. Not all of them, but some of them. They act in a questionable character, in a questionable manner.
All right, just to let our viewers know that you can also have the opportunity of calling into the program, and do remember that you have to turn down the audio level of your TV set or move away from it once you're calling into the program. Tell us your name and where you're calling from in order to have your contributions quickly on the program before we actually exhaust this topic itself. Now, looking at what you have said,
yes,
and of course, the role ASUU played in installing this government and previous governments in the past under a democratic setting, that he also played a role. Now, would we say that that is an assumption, given the fact that ASUU cannot determine, for instance, what this person is bringing to the table? And of course, ASUU, a Don, for instance, a Don is just representing himself, not even the academic union here. How do we separate this?
A Don is not only representing himself, he's representing the interests of the national of Nigeria. When you are called to serve in the public office, you are not representing yourself. The destiny of the entire nation has been committed to your custody. Don't say he's serving himself. At that particular point in time, the destiny of millions of Nigeria and your custody.
But it's not representing ASUU.
It's not representing, but it's represent the entire country, of which ASUU is a segment in the public. Will you do that ASUU as a member of the public? They are also member of the public. Whatever happened to the public will affect ASUU. You agree with me to that extent? Okay? To that extent, when you are now serving in the capacity of the public, in the national, in the public office, you must maintain integrity, because whatever you do there will definitely have what? A repercussion on ASUU and the entire public.
All right, let's see if we'll get through with this, comrade. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Prince Timothy Ofebo. I'm calling from Asokoro in Abuja.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I think in a very sane country, the Minister of Education ought to resign by now. Even the Minister of Labor. Honestly, what they are doing to these kids, they are not being fair to them. Let's be honest for once in this country. How can somebody enter university hoping to graduate in 4 years and 7 years they are still in school? And what the prof is saying makes a lot of sense. If government cannot keep to her own promise, you are saying now investors that will come in. Because they can agree with even people you employ and your own children. How will you agree with a foreigner that will come with $20 billion that will sign agreement to business with the company? So this person is taken out as an unserious, very, very serious, unserious country. And it's very shameful. Very, very shameful. So whatever that is, let government at least agree to what they have signed. They have agreed this. And not this going up and down, just like that courageous man said to the minister, is because their own children are not in our public schools. They are all abroad, so they don't think here. They have destroyed the public university in Nigeria, so that their own private universities will come up. The refineries, 4 of them, so that their own private refineries will come. That's why we talk about fuel now. They destroy the medical centers, federal government centers, so that their private clinics will come up. What kind of country do we have even? And nobody will talk. So you also doing a good job, young lady, as a moderator.
Thank you so much.
What you people are doing, but the pressure Nigeria will mount now is not even necessarily on government agreeing on what they have signed to. They have to call up the side. Because the 2 ministers side, they are there Nigerians working. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Timothy, for your contribution from Abuja there. All right, he has actually applauded some of the things that you said and, of course, resonated some of the points. Now, let's look at the fact that you've said that the Academic Staff Union to have a role to play in all of these instances, which in a way they do not accept most times when you say this to them. They feel that the responsibility of developing the school system behoves on the government without being told. That under any normal circumstances, the government should know that education should be prioritized and the kind of monies that should be voted into the educational sector should be equivalent to what obtains elsewhere in the world. Now, you also talked about most of our political leadership do not have their children in schools here. They prefer to go out there. Now, how then do we, in a way, shift this blame? Can we totally take the blame away from ASUU and look at the government that have been saddled with this responsibility of ensuring quality education in Nigeria?
You have the right to look straight at an employee. You will have the courage and the strong mind to look straight at an employee and to even issue a query to whoever you have fulfilled, you have paid, and you have fulfilled your own side as an employee. If the federal government fund educational sector properly, they can take their stand and set up an inspection committee that will make sure that the money is spent judiciously. But at times, it is not enough for you to fund a particular sector. Okay? Because corruption also is endemic. It's endemic in the university system. Marco, let's be frank at this time. If EFCC, ICPC should beam their light on university system, you will see corruption, okay, like a worm affecting the system as well. And not only university, virtually the research institute also as well. Now, if the federal government wants to have a courage and the right to take up the ASUU, let them fund the educational sector, let them make sure that the money spent on the sector is judiciously spent. Now, back to ASUU. We cannot completely shift the blame to federal government. I've raised a point the other time on this platform. Our member of the ASUU who are privileged to serve the public also compromise us, and I've said not all of them. Okay, they have forgotten that whatever they do on that sea will definitely boomerang on their own sectors. But I think maybe because some of those who serve in the public capacity are sometimes myopic in their view. Okay, they are not patriotic in their duty. That what I'm doing right now, posterity will surely judge me. If I take a step right now, I should not take a step because of my family, of my own convenience alone. I should consider generation coming.
But is that enough for Ngige to say that jokingly that ASUU has only gone on leave when issue like this crop up? The ASUU has been crying even before the warning strike, the 1 month warning strike which they've embarked upon. They have been saying, you've not met our agreement, we'll go on strike. They've been meeting, of course, at zonal level, they have met nationally before going on this warning strike, only for the federal minister to come out and say
forget about
that's actually a leave. And now ASUU is even saying, as a matter of fact, that they do not even collect money doing nothing, and that they have never gone on leave. It has always been strike. Now, if you look at this, and of course, Oshode come up with this kind of explanation that asks each family in order to testify this, that some of their wards and children who are supposed to have spent a 4-year course in a university for a 4-year course will spend nothing less than 6-7 years for a 4-year course. Now, he is saying, as a matter of fact, that is that not a testimony to all of the fact that ASU has always gone on strike? And now the government makes it look like ASU deliberately goes on leave for doing nothing and, of course, gets a salary.
Now, I want you to understand, certainly this morning, and those who are listening to us, that those who serve in the public capacity in this country, they are not well cultured.
Okay, let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm fine. Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Pastor Jonathan from Ghana.
Please go ahead.
The issue of this federal government, they're just making things difficult. You just said it in this, said it jokingly. There are expensive jobs. Why should we say that students should go on leave? Leave at half. And people are suffering, students are suffering, you don't even know the time that you're going to graduate. Federal government should do something. We are behind this ASU strike because you cannot just find something that you know you cannot implement it. Who are they deceiving? Who do all these things in this very country? They are just deceiving students. You pay money, you don't know the time that you're going to graduate. Once they are found other things that are not even, I don't know what to say. But not in the studio there said they don't have enough money. There is money, my brother. We have enough money. The problem, the corruption in the country, know how to do the right thing. But please, I'm also begging the government to give them what belongs to them. And begging that is not a matter. They are not only, they are doing what is expected to be done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your contributions. And of course, that's another point. He said that there is money. Before we even got to the point of the money now, you were actually trying to address an issue before the caller called into the program.
Now, yeah, what I was trying to say is that by looking at the position of ASU also, when some of the DOM who are serving also are not living to the expectation of the public. I also call on the aspect of spending the money, the funds devoted.
Okay, let's see this. Let's take this comment. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
My name is David. I'm calling from Gombe.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. This is the issue of ASU and the federal government. This person wants to spend 1 year and they're expected for this without. Because the students are participation. Every now and then, the action of the strike. You know? Every time last year, I hear the university in the southern state.
So are you advising that ASU should not go on strike? Are you saying ASU should not go on strike?
I'm not saying the side of their rights. All these frustrated students here and there, every now and then, eh? We when students 4 months or 2 months studying, they are not even learning money to stay at home for 6 or almost 1 year. You know that we are done. We learn to invite and we make it in the
All right, the line is actually cracking. I'm trying as much as possible to get the rest of the things that you said. Of course, he is complaining about the fact that ASU keeps going on strike.
But ASU should not be blamed. ASU cannot be blamed.
There's no alternative.
ASU have met several times with this federal government and they are disappointed them. ASU also the DOM are parents. And it's not that they will to go on strike. When you sit down with your employers, the employees, sit down with the employer, and the employees delight or enjoy breaching the agreement. Not one, not twice, as I've said. You see, I don't know entitled to their money, I don't know entitled to their salary, I don't know entitled to their right.
So what is the way out of all of this? Because we have to go on this topic.
Number one, the member of the public should please, for goodness sake, they should not throw stone at ASUU again. Because ASUU have called the member of the public, if you should go on strike again, all the federal government responsible, I've read in paper, you have read also, all the federal government responsible. No one in the members should throw stone at ASUU, because I listen to that young man who called in right now. Secondly, the federal government should fulfill in time not to jeopardize the destiny of our youth.
All right, on that note, we must say a big thank you to Comrade Omololu Ejidiran for your time on the program this morning. He's a social activist, and of course, that's a stern warning coming from him. And of course, saying as a matter of fact that the government must accede to the demands of us. So given the fact that it's been 2009 and now you have another one in 2020, we're hoping that the government will listen and of course have our academic activities return to tertiary